Satnam. I want to help you learn how to sit better. And there are some techniques that you can do in yoga that will be helpful for it. In yoga, we call them the bandhas, or locks, body locks. And I don't want to get into too much of the technology behind it or even the philosophy behind it. I just want to come from a pure physical point of view with these so that you can sit better, so that when you're doing the meditations, you'll be able to mitigate some of the discomfort that you have in your body, so that you can actually focus on the meditation and not on the discomfort that you feel in your body. Because oftentimes, this is what people come to me and they say, oh my gosh, I want to do the meditation, but I'm so distracted because I just can't sit well. My back hurts, my leg falls asleep. So I want to try and give you some things that you can do that will be very, very helpful. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is what's called the root lock, or Mula Bandha, which just means root lock. Mula means root, Bandha lock, root lock. So in order to do this and do this well, what you do is you contract your rectum, your sex organ, and your navel point. What does that mean? That means just that, right? So if you think about stopping yourself from urinating, that would be the sex organ part. If you think about contracting the rectum, that would be like holding in number 2, okay? And then the navel point, when I talk about the navel point, in yoga, we don't mean the actual belly button. What we mean is there's a point underneath us, about an inch, 2 inches or so below our belly button, and then inside about an inch or 2. And they say it's like about the size of a bird's egg, so a small bird's egg. And this we call the navel point. Now, in that navel point, there are 72,000 different what are called nadi channels that circulate in this area. It's like Grand Central Station. So, and again, I don't want to talk too much about the technology part, but I just want you to understand what you're doing there. So we're uniting, when this happens, we're uniting two forces that we take in and forces that we get rid of. So there's an assimilation and then an elimination. So we have to take in and we have to get rid of. I think we can all understand that. So when we contract root lock, what we're doing is we're pulling these two together right here and contracting a lot. But again, from a pure physical point of view, what this does is this pulls up the pelvic floor. And by pulling up the pelvic floor, almost instantaneously, it gets your chest out. Just naturally, just squeezing all that just starts to contract all these little muscles up and down our spine. So learning how to do this and do this well is very simple to do. And it's not like you squeeze one, then the other, then the other. It's all together, so all three sort of at once. So you squeeze the rectum, you squeeze the sex organ, and you squeeze the navel point by pulling the navel point up. So this comes up. So again, stopping yourself from number 2, stopping yourself from urinating, and pulling up. So when I say apply root lock, this is what I mean. This gets you to sit tall. Okay. Now, that's just practice, right? And you don't have to squeeze. You can have a gentle lock. It doesn't have to be squeezing so hard. You can just squeeze a little bit and pull up. I'm using it right now. So it doesn't have to be, okay, I got it. Just, use some common sense about it and squeeze and understand how you're contracting it, and then just sit there. It'll help you to sit taller. The next thing we want to talk about is what we call neck lock. Now I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what I mean by this. So neck lock, let's see, good position there. So neck lock is not this, right? We don't want our upper shoulders collapsing. So many of you sit in front of computers, and what happens is the shoulders roll forward. And because the shoulders roll forward, we get all this shortening in the chest. Our head comes forward. It creates a lot of discomfort in your physical body. So we're going to try to avoid that. And the way to do that is what we do is we sit tall, so that when I say neck lock, what I mean by that is I mean chest out, chin in. So not down. That's not locking the chin down. Sometimes we do this in Kundalini Kriyas, but this is not what I'm talking about. When I say neck lock, I don't mean this. I don't mean tucking your chin down into the notch. What I mean is almost like when you're driving in your car. So when you're driving in your car and you have the headrest back there and you kind of want to push your head against that? It's like that, right? So your headrest of your car is like this and you want to just push your head against it, well, what do you have to do? You have to lift your chest and pull your neck back. So when I say neck lock, that's what I mean. Lifting up this, bringing this back so that this is like this. Now, when we apply the root lock and the neck lock, what we're doing now is we're bringing these two circuits closed. And this is what we want. So now we've got this internal circuit that's going on for what we're doing. And again, from a pure physical point of view, you are making yourself the ability to sit tall. When you get really, really good at neck lock, you'll almost feel as if you're lifting out of your pelvis, because this is what you want to do. So it's not just chest out, chin in. It's also a lifting. It's a lifting out of the pelvis. So as you're applying root lock, as you're applying the neck lock, what you're doing is you're pulling yourself up. And that's how you can apply neck lock really well. So when you're sitting and you're doing some of these longer meditations and you're like, oh, I'm having a hard time, my back's killing me, you feel like you got to move around, you apply these locks and then you pull up and it'll make it much, much easier. Now, I'm going to show you another one that we don't do that often. It's called Uddiyana Bandha. Neck lock, Jalanda Bandha. This is Uddiyana Bandha. Mulla. So, again, the names doesn't really matter. Mulla Bandha, who cares? Call it root lock. Uddiyana, we're going to call that the diaphragm lock. Jalanda Bandha, neck lock. And then there's another one we're going to talk about in a minute. It's called Mahabandha. Great lock. Uddiyana is this area through here, the diaphragm. And what we're looking to do, and you want to do this after you've exhaled all of the breath. So if you take in a breath and then exhale all the air out, this is when you would apply Uddiyana, or the diaphragm lock. And all it is it's a sucking in of the diaphragm. So you're trying to get all of this sucked up and in as you hold it. So let me just demonstrate for a second. So I'm going to blow all the air out and then I'm going to suck my diaphragm in. So we're not squeezing the root lock. This is really just using the diaphragm to pull this up. And if you do it well, you'll almost immediately feel this pressure in the chest because it helps to strengthen the heart. So you inhale, exhale all the air out, hands on your knees. You see how it creates that hollow? So it's you sucking in so that you can get your fingers up underneath your ribs. Let me show you again one more time. So breathing in, breathing out, sucking in. Okay, see how I can get my fingers up underneath my rib cage? There's another way that you can do it. I like doing it sitting down, but it's traditionally shown actually with people standing up. So I'm going to squat down because I want you to, well, I guess you can still see me. So let's tuck my shirt so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. So when we do this, you can also do this over your hands on your knees. Your knees are slightly bent and your spine is straight. And what you do, and this is what neck lock, right? So you're still chest out, chin in. And what you do with this is the same thing. So you take all the air in and then all out and then suck in. So what you end up getting is a pull through here. And again, I like doing it sitting down, although traditionally, again, it's shown most of the times standing up. But I find it more effective, actually, sitting down and doing it. But, do as you wish, do as you choose to do. So root lock, we know, squeezing the sex organ, the rectum, and the navel point, pulling that up. Neck lock, chest out, chin in, pulling up from the pelvis. Diaphragm lock, we just described, that's done on an empty stomach. Now we're going to do what's called Maha or great lock. Mahabandha or great lock. And what that is that's when you use all three together. And a lot of times when we're looking after a meditation, we'll seal the effects of it in. what we'll do is we'll do that. We'll take in a deep breath, we'll let all the air out, and then we'll apply all of them at the same time. So when you apply the root lock, the diaphragm lock, and the neck lock simultaneously as you're pulling up out of your pelvis, almost as if you could levitate, that's what you're going to do, right? You're going to pull yourself up so you're floating off the floor. And then you hold that position for as long as you can. So let me show it to you. So breathing in, breathing out. Now you're going to squeeze the root lock. You're going to pull up on the diaphragm, chest out, chin in, and then pull like you're lifting out of your pelvis. And before you take the breath in, you relax the diaphragm, or you're going to struggle to take the breath in. But that's it. So root lock grounds us. Diaphragm lock pulls us up, centers us, gets our emotions in check. Neck lock helps the glandular secretions move through our body. The Mahaband, which is pulling them all up, integrates everything as one unit. Again, from a physical point of view, this is going to help you sit better so that you can maintain these postures, as some of the meditations that I'm going to start to share with you are going to get longer and longer and longer, and will require you to be able to sit in a comfortable position as you're doing it. So enjoy them, practice them. Once again, if you have questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Reach out. Sat Nam.